raised against.
And every lofty opinion.
Oh, forgive me. We destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God, and take every thought captive to obey Christ. Being ready to punish every disobedience when your obedience is complete.
Okay, let's stop there then.
Okay.
Disobedience. Destroying strongholds. To me, stronghold is the faults we as humans have. Whether it be anger, whether it be greed, whether it be deceit, all these things are earthly matters. And he's telling you to walk in a way that is of flesh, but is spiritual. We don't know spiritual because we're not there. We only know flesh. So we have the strongholds of the greed, the anger, the disgust, the this. That's all we know. And when you've learned to put that aside, now you're walking amongst what God wants you to walk amongst, which is spiritual. Okay, I'm done.
I want to add something to that, if I may. We do know the spiritual. We do know the spiritual. We know the spiritual in subtle ways, sometimes dramatic ways, but we do know the spiritual. People get confused because they want to call the spiritual a substantive thing that is this. No. Think of the spiritual as you would water, and it's an element. It's an element created by God, just like the physical, just like every part of the physical. Everything is created by God. And one of the misfortunes of Greek influence was, well, the spirit is somehow by itself, and etc., etc. The truth is, what makes our belief so powerful and so different than the world's, and why can't we just all be like whatever, is because we believe and we know everything was created by God. I would also like to point out something interesting. Paul says that Paul myself entreat you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ. I who am humble when face to face with you, but bold toward you when I am away. I just think that's a great line. And I'm wondering, what is your opinion? Okay, when he was there as opposed to when he's writing, is he different?
Yes. Because he's saying he's different.
And how would you describe that?
I don't know. He's saying that when I'm face to face with you, I'm really subtle, I'm really kind-hearted, I'm really gentle. I'm treating you like a child type thing. But when he's...
It's not a negative.
When he's not with you, when he's away from you, he's very bold toward you. That I don't know what he's trying to say or what. So he talks about me when he's not around, or about these people when he's not around them. Does he talk? Obviously he's talking something nice because he's saying he's being nice, but he's being very bold about it, being very open. But he tells you not to be boastful, but yet he is. So I'm not really sure what he's trying to say about that.
Interesting, and I agree with you. I agree, we really don't know, but it's an interesting...
Yeah, teeter-totter.
Teeter-totter.
And he's open to and saying it to you.
Right, now let me ask you.
Oh, please.
Do I dare? Okay, do you have times, like Paul, only in the groups where you live and what you do, where you are gentle, and then other times where you are more bold?
No, I'm always bold.
You're always bold.
If there's something I don't like, if there's something you're not doing, you're going to know it. I'm not going to tiptoe around it. I'm not going to kiss your booty and tell you, oh my gosh, you're so sweet, and then manipulate you into doing what I want you to do. That's not who I am. I ain't one of those people.
Okay.
I'm going to be straight out with you. There's nothing to hide. If you're doing something wrong to me, I am going to tell you. And I may not be able to be extremely bold enough to tell you in a mean, nasty, cruel way. I'm going to tiptoe around it nicely. And then if you tick me off, I'm just going to hit you hard. And you're going to sit there and go, wow. I'm like, well, this is what I've been saying, and you didn't understand the kindness behind it and the love that's behind it. Now I'm going to give it to you without the love and without the respect. And that's the bold of it.
Okay.
So if I'm telling you something, you better listen. Because it's going to get nasty if you don't.
Look at what is before your eyes. If anyone is confident that he is Christ, let him remind himself that just as he is Christ, so also are we. For even if I boast a little too much of our authority, which the Lord gave for building you up and not for destroying you, I will not be ashamed. I do not want you to appear to be frightening you. I do not want to appear to be frightening you with my letters. For they say his letters are weighty and strong, but his bodily presence is weak, and his speech is of no account. Let such a person understand that what we say by letter when absent, we do when present. Not that we dare to classify or compare ourselves with some of those who are amending themselves, but when they measure themselves by one another and compare themselves with one another, they are without understanding. But we will not boast beyond limits, but will boast only with regard to the area of influence God's assigned to us to reach even to you. For we are not overextending ourselves as though we did not reach you, for we were the first to come all the way to you with the gospel of Christ. We do not boast beyond limit in the labors of others, but our hope is that your faith increases, our area of influence among you, and may be greatly enlarged, so that we may preach the gospel in lands beyond you, without boasting of work already done in another's area of influence. Let the one who boasts boast in the Lord. For it is not the one who commands himself who is approved, but the one whom the Lord commends.
So again, you tell somebody gently, these are the words of God. This is how he wants you to live your life. And if that person chooses not to, you don't just be angry with them. You try and help them again. You don't go around boasting, oh yeah, that's a kind man. Oh yeah, that's a this, that's a that. He's so sweet. He's so gentle. He's so this, because he's like that in public. When you know behind the closed doors, that's not who he is. So why would you go out boasting about something that is untrue? You see they're not living the way God intended us to live. Why boast about it? Why sit there and go, oh, well, on the other hand, he's an evil person. He's this, he's that. People are going to look at you like you're crazy and say, well, why are you still with him? Why are you still there? So what you need to do is always, if you love and care about someone deeply, is to refer to God's words And even if they're falling on deaf ears, live them yourself. Stay true to them. Because the minute you're no longer true to that word, then now you've fallen to the side. And you can't allow yourself to be trapped in these earthly matters if that's not who you truly are as a person. Because so many people are going to try and knock you off that path and try to push you astray, and you'll be surprised where it comes from. And you can't. You can't be discouraged, regardless of who's trying to knock you off that path.
Very good.
So, no boasting.
No boasting.
Unless you boast about how God has moved you to a certain place, how God has opened your eyes to certain things. That's where the boasting belongs. To the fact that my eyes were opened to your deceitful ways, and then have the list of the deceitful ways for that other person to understand. So that other person can't come back at you and go, oh no, you're just jealous, you're just angry, you just this, you want to control me. Whatever it is, you have the list. No, this is how you treated me. This is what you've done to me. And you go through your list, and then you explain to them, this is the way I live my life. And I continue to live my life this way. If you can't accept this, then you can't be around me until you've learned to accept it. But until then,